Burn, baby, burn. It's a Wingnut Inferno right here at Smart Remarks. So as you've probably seen, there's this small congregation down in Florida called Dove World Outreach Center that has designated September 11th as International Burn the Koran Day because they are outraged at Muslim extremism, and they think that the appropriate response is American extremism, burning the book that all 1.5 billion of the world's Muslims consider to be the Word of God. This despite a plea from General David Petraeus, commander of American and NATO forces in Afghanistan, who has said that burning the Koran will place American troops and citizens in danger. Quote, images of the burning of the Koran would undoubtedly be used by extremists in Afghanistan and around the world to inflame public opinion and incite violence. And, you know, normally your hardcore right-wingers would heed Petraeus. I mean, conservatives consider themselves to be the most patriotic of Americans, and they always support the troops, no matter what. Except in this case, Dove pastor Terry Jones has said that while Petraeus' concerns are legitimate, quote, maybe it's time to send a message to radical Islam that we will not tolerate their behavior. And of course, the appropriate way to do this is by burning the book that all 1.5 billion of the world's Muslims consider to be holy. Republican lawmakers and others have been conspicuously silent on this issue. Some, like House Minority Leader Eric Boehner, have ludicrously tried to suggest that this is the exact same thing as trying to build a mosque some 2 blocks from ground zero. It's the exact same thing, dude! And then there was CNN's Eric Erickson from RedState.com suggesting that Petraeus is folding like a cheap suit in trying to appease Muslim sensibilities. Now, one can understand the lack of conservative seriousness on this issue because think about it. Of the voters who think it's a great idea to burn the Koran, how many of those voters vote Democratic? How many of those voters vote Republican? Right. So conservatives individually may agree with Petraeus, but they will never ever come out and say so forcefully. Now, none of this is to suggest that Jones doesn't have the right to burn the Koran. This is a free speech issue, and I'm sure he would support me if I decided to protest his decision by burning a stack of Bibles, right? But let's not miss the fact that the irrationality and hatred that motivates him is the mirror image of that which motivates the Al-Qaeda extremists themselves. Certainly, burning the Koran is in no way comparable to what happened on September 11th. But then again, as the German poet Heinrich Heine once wrote, where they burn books, in the end, they burn people.
What is your message for Pastor Jones?
Well, to Pastor Jones and those who want to build the mosque, just because you have a right to do something in America does not mean it is the right thing to do. We're a nation of religious freedom. We're also a nation of tolerance. And I think in the name of tolerance, people ought to really think about the kind of actions they're taking.
So you're telling him not to do it? Sir, you're telling him not to do it?
Well, listen, I just think that it's not wise to do this in the face